and wealthy as the European Union would do its part in a way that is humane and decent, but
Mm-hmm.
the people there were treated like, honestly, like you couldn't even um, express how terrible the conditions
It
were. Right? I'm
was
talking about
terrible.
horrible. At its peak, the hotspot on that island
Yeah.
hosted 7,000 people, and
Mm-hmm.
it was built for 650. Right, so just there was no
Wow.
shelter. They were living in the
Wow.
forest for years, sometimes
For
for
years.
years, for years. Yeah, yeah. As a single man, you were
Wow.
considered to be the least vulnerable, and
Mm-hmm.
you were just kept there for as long as they could keep you. So living in the forest, no toilets, no
Oh,
access to education.
yeah.
There were like two doctors for the whole camp,
Ah.
some 200 people, every tap of water. So it was insane, right? And there is no reason for it to be like that because,
Mm-hmm.
look, it's like it's the European Union. Money is available for that, and money is also allocated, but
Mm-hmm.
somehow it doesn't reach
It doesn't
the
reach
field,
the
right?
intended.
Exactly. So we were
Yeah.
there as refugees. No, 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 that's not true. We were there as volunteers, trying to support the refugees, and because we realized how the organizations and the entities that were supposed to support these people were not
Yeah.
doing so. We decided to start our own independent organization,
Mm-hmm.
something that could do what we thought was right and what we thought was needed,
Mm.
without compromising, without having to um, well do someone else's bidding, right?
Mm-hmm.
Without having to um, comply with these big organizations' directives, right?
Yes.
And so
Yes.
that's how we started Still at Rise. We opened our
Yes.
first center there in Greece,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a very happy time
Mm-hmm.
because we did manage to make a big change there, and the kids who had no education whatsoever before started coming
Mm.
to school, and
Yeah.
it wasn't just like a normal school. It was a place for them to feel safe and,
Yeah.
and to find
Mm.
shelter and
Mm.
protection and care. So we were providing, food and clothes and everything that was needed at the time.
Mm-hmm.
um, we also did a lot of advocacy work, right? A lot of pushing the government and the European Union to do the right thing. And
Yeah.
finally, after 2 years, we managed to get that hotspot, that refugee camp,
Mm-hmm.
closed,
Mm-hmm.
which was a big success, right? We,
Mm-hmm.
we, we really led that change, and they opened a different hotspot
Mm-hmm.
that just is
The-
more humane, not
Yeah.
perfect, of
More
course. I mean,
hospitable.
yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
Fewer people and more capacity, like bigger capacity. So that was good.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's how we started. And then since we um, we thought that our model was, I think we did kind of like realize, maybe not fully back then, but we
Mm-hmm.
did feel that the education that we were offering was unusual.
Mm-hmm.
It was a bit different. It wasn't just going to class and learning mathematics and English.
Yes.
It was more like feeling at home
Mm-hmm.
while in school.
Yeah.
And that's why we decided to uh, go international,
Yes.
if I may.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to Turkey, and then we went to Syria, and
Mm-hmm.
then we went to Kenya.
Ah.
And yeah, and the model evolved over the years. And so from an education center,
Yes.
we transitioned to something more ambitious, and
Yes.
now we're an international school.
Yeah. Great. And I visited the school the other day, which is amazing, and I got to
Thank you.
see um how the students are really enjoying this. And we'll get to Kenya. But was nonprofit something that you always wanted to do?
Oh no, no, no. I think no. And teaching also. I mean, we were talking about it the other day. Um, Teaching wasn't something that I always wanted to do. Education in general. I think if you
Yeah.
had asked me,
Yeah. When you were young.
when I was 13, right? Well,
Yeah.
my dream job would have been, and what my like the job that I would have never wanted to do,
Mm-hmm.
I would have answered teacher. In fact, I did. I think. Like life is surprising, and
Yeah.
you do realize things about yourself. And I think um, the I think it was a very natural step for me, from writing and journalism to education. I think I was I think privileged enough to grow up in a country that is well considered wealthier. Italy, that's where I come from. Something that I think many people don't know about Italy is that we have one of the worst education systems in the whole of the European Union.
Oh,
right?
shut the front door. Have you seen the Kenyan system?
Well, look, I think I'm not sure, but look, there's data on the Italian system, right? Like you compare it with not only European education systems, but actually worldwide. We're not okay. It's not faring well.
Yes.
In fact, in this, of course, is a relative data, but I think it's curious. The government of Kenya invests more money in the education sector than the government of Italy, right?
Oh,
the government of Italy invests very little in schools, and it shows. Trust me. So the education system in Italy is a system whereby 50% of students, teachers, and parents report dissatisfaction. Right? They say they're not satisfied with the system. It well, ratings say our students are the most anxious in the world. So
most anxious.
Yeah, it's the most anxiety-inducing system in the world, which is not a very good thing.
Yeah.
And overall, like the preparation of kids graduating from high school in Italy is much lower than their peers in the rest of Europe, right?
Yes.
And I think my personal story is very similar to a lot of other kids.
Yes.
That grow up with what we say first world problems, right? I would say privileged kids that go through education and struggle through it. And since I had such a hard time when I was in school as a younger person, I felt like the education system, might have needed some
changes.
Some changes, like some love. Yeah, I think, and that's why as I studied journalism and got to do more stories on social issues. Right, that was my angle, mostly social issues, and I got closer to education, especially. I felt it was natural for me to contribute to education in general, like the concept of education.
Yes.
By taking what was painful for me as a child, as a teenager, and try to get to turn it in something good. Right.
That's really nice. So you found a problem and you wanted to fix it.
Yeah, I think well, I think I hoped that I could contribute to creating a system where kids like me and like a lot of other kids that went through school would not have to suffer that much and feel like they were not enough and they were unworthy of being there and just
You're
being
just
stupid.
reminding
Right?
me of my school days.
Well, that's the thing. Like a lot of us, and the more I meet people, the more I meet people that are like, no matter where in the world, they just feel like school didn't really build them up.
It did. Like, it just gave us a lot of competition. First of all, we are all taught, you need to be number one, you need to be top 10 of your class. So it's competition. It's if you're not good at, school, you're not good anywhere. And so we could see, and that's what our parents were instilling in us. Even when some kids were unable to, because nobody is gifted everywhere, especially in the education. So it really stresses some people because some people feel like I didn't go to school, so I'm not worth it.
Right. And how long does it take for us to, scrap that idea from our mind and decide that we are worth it? Right?
It takes time until probably you start seeing probably what you're doing, you're contributing to society without actually having done education. But before that, you will always feel like a failure. I don't
Right,
know.
right. And yeah, it is really damaging, right? Plus, I think like the traditional education system really rewards some specific traits, like
Yes.
you need to be able to conform, like to comply with orders, to follow directives, and I feel like that clashes quite a bit with the modern world. That
Yeah.
is so much about creativity and free will, and what you can contribute to society, and how you can make that like profitable, right? And so yeah, I think well, something that I like to say is that there is a yeah, I failed in school, and I was almost on the verge of not making it out of education. Like
Yeah.
it was really bad. It was that bad. I was that kid, the kid that parents wouldn't want their children to hang out with, right? I think that because it was so just so unpleasant, then
Yes.
I wanted to make sure that children um, after me wouldn't have to go through the same thing.
Yes.
Feel valued and seen and heard.
Hey, awesome, awesome. And we'll definitely delve into why you chose Kenya after the two schools that you brought out in different parts of the country. Apart from that, we'll definitely figure out what is in store in Kenya for Kenyan vulnerable kids and refugees. Let's go back to music. When we come back, more from Nicolo from Steel Iris. This is Icon Radio number one entertainment play. Hang out with me, Kelvin Njoroge, on Monday Mondays.
This is for the lovers in the house. Tafuta penzi lako, mshike kwa mikono, mwangalie ndani ya macho, mpeleke kando na umwambie, commit a crime and I'll be your defender. Overpower me so that I surrender. I wish I could be your saliva, so that I could taste your lips whenever. I envy your hipster, vile inakushika kwa maha. Kwa kweli manzi umebarikiwa, ndio maana tunaimba hallelujah. I wish I could be your shoe, I would have such a beautiful view. And if I was the slit on your dress, my goal in life would be to aim for the highest. If only I could be your body lotion, I would walk with undivided devotion. Kila siku nakufikiria, ndio maana nasinzia nikikuwaza, nasinzia nikikuwaza, miaka rudi miaka nenda, nasinzia nikikuwaza, nasinzia nikikuwaza, nasinzia nikikuwaza, kila siku ya kalenda, nasinzia nikikuwaza, chochote utafanya nitafuata, nitachora 8 ukichora 7, and I promise I will never be a player. You're my red card, no longer middle fielder. Be my wife and I'll be your bogey bender, and let no man try to lay asunder. na wakijaribu kutulei asanda, Mungu mmoja nitawapiga ngeta. Na kama ungekuwa ngoma, ningependa kukuwa amplifier. I will amplify and equalizer, mpaka hata matuta sitachuna. Nasinzia nikikuwaza, nasinzia nikikuwaza, miaka rudi miaka nenda. Nasinzia nikikuwaza, nasinzia nikikuwaza, nasinzia nikikuwaza, kila siku ya kalenda. Nasinzia nikikuwaza. This comes from the deepest part of my heart, the deepest part of my heart. This comes from the empty hole in my soul, the empty hole in my soul. This comes from the highest point of my spirit. If you know what I'm saying, then you will feel it. Feel it. This comes from the deepest part of my heart, the deepest part of my heart. This comes from the empty hole in my soul, the empty hole in my soul. This comes from the highest point of my spirit. If you know what I'm saying, then you will feel it. Feel it. Nasinzia nikikuwaza, nasinzia nikikuwaza, miaka rudi miaka nenda. Nasinzia nikikuwaza, nasinzia nikikuwaza, nasinzia nikikuwaza, kila siku ya kalenda. Nasinzia nikikuwaza, nasinzia nikikuwaza, nasinzia nikikuwaza, miaka rudi miaka nenda. Nasinzia nikikuwaza, nasinzia nikikuwaza, nasinzia nikikuwaza, kila siku ya kalenda. Nasinzia nikikuwaza.
All right, Sincere, the song by Nameless, getting us into the rhythm and the month of love. I don't know whether you're in love. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day. And I hope that you have a date for your Valentine's, man. Nicolo, do you have a date for your Valentine's?
Next question.
It's Money Mondays on Icon Radio, #1 entertainment blog. Hope you're having a great time. I'm here with Nicolo from Still I Rise, the founder and the CEO, talking about empowering children and how he started Still I Rise. We've been discussing about what happened in Syria and what made you want to get into non-profit from a place where you never wanted to be in education, which is very interesting. And so after having done 2 schools, or now you came to Kenya, why did you choose, where was it specifically Kenya from Africa? I know that you're looking to enter into Africa, but why did you choose Kenya?
So, well, as you know, we focused majorly on refugee children.
Yeah.
In the first leg of our operations, since all the kids coming into Greece were
Yes.
refugees from mostly Middle Eastern countries, and
Yes.
our school in Syria welcomed internally displaced people.
Mhm.
And so the next step was to look at the African continent and understand which context would benefit the most from a service such as ours.
Mhm.
And Kenya is special for, well, many different reasons. And one of them is that it is a very welcoming country. It is a stable country surrounded by countries that are less stable,
Yes.
and countries where a lot of people run away from,
Mhm.
and that just naturally became a safe refuge for thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, millions.
Yes.
And so, since we wanted to, contribute to educating and supporting refugee children,
Yeah.
Kenya became a very natural choice for us.
Mhm.
We realized that Kenya not only welcomes people, but also offers opportunities in terms of work. And of course, it's never easy, as Kenya is also going through its own struggles. But
Yes.
it is quite remarkable the way it is welcoming people. And
Yeah.
in fact, again, like by comparing the way refugees are treated in Europe, especially in Greece, where
Yeah.
we started,
Yeah.
and the way they're treated in Kenya, you would almost feel like praising the way they are treated here, if you compare to how some of the European Union treats people
Yes.
asking for asylum.
Yes.
So we decided to focus on Kenya when we started designing the dream of opening an international school. In fact, opening the first international school designed specifically for refugee and vulnerable children.
Yes.
And we started operating here in 2020. So it was the peak
During
of the,
COVID.
the pandemic.
And when you speak about international school, I want people to understand what we mean by international school.
So we have the privilege and the honor to be the first school in the world to offer the IB framework completely free of charge to refugee and vulnerable children.
Completely free of
Completely
charge.
free of charge.
Which school in Kenya is offering the IB framework?
Well, the very, very good schools such as ISK, the International School of Kenya,
Yes.
Aga Khan, Braben,
Yes.
very good schools that are understandably quite costly when it comes to
Yes.
school fees.
Extremely.
Right. Well, I think they're known to be quite exclusive, right?
Yes.
And well, they do have amazing infrastructure,
Yeah.
and I'm sure very well prepared teachers.
Yeah.
And we decided to make an education that was historically very exclusive and very elite, available to those people that could never possibly afford it, right?
Wow.
And actually, the inspiration for it came all the way back in 2018.
Yes.
When I was invited for as a guest lecturer in this very
Posh.
fancy
Yes.
and good and just impressive school in Milan, in Italy, right? The American School of Milan.
Yes.
I was invited there as a guest lecturer for 3 days to teach their kids. And I remember when I went there, when I walked into that school and I saw not only the building, but also like the teachers, their spirit, their passion,
Yeah.
the way they were prepared, and also the way the kids would talk, right? You
Mhm.
would talk to 12-year-olds and it felt like you were talking to 20-year-olds. And I was
Yeah.
like, how? Right? Which planet do you come from?
Yes.
And that's where I realized that whatever education I was dreaming of, right? Whatever education we were talking about before, right? Something that was the opposite of what a lot of children around the world have to go through
Yes.
was already there, right? Already existed.
Mhm.
The school of your dreams already exists.
Mm.
The issue is you can't afford it,
Yeah.
right? Literally, and this is not, I'm not making it up, 0.01% of school-age children can access that kind of education.
They can.
Right. Only that like a very small fraction
Yeah.
of kids can access. And what does it tell you? That like we may tell ourselves that we're trying to create a world where people have equal opportunities. That's not true.
Yeah.
Because if 0.01% of children have access to the best possible education that is preparing them to be the leaders of the world,
Yeah.
right? The next presidents, the
Yes.
next, I don't know, judges in the Supreme Court, and everybody else has only access to varying degrees of education,
Yeah.
going from absolutely terrible to like halfway decent, then is it actually an equal world? And
It's not.
no, it's not.
I was speaking to one of my cousins who works at a very prestige bank, used to work at a very prestige bank, top notch, one of the top managers. And they told me, Kang'Ethe, I am leaving Nairobi to go to Netherlands because of my kids. It's impossible to teach my kids at the international schools to get that right education for my kids to thrive. And because it's too expensive for my kids to have that kind of education, I'm going to go somewhere where, it's going to be easy for me.
Right. Right.
So I can imagine that's a very top-notch manager, which means if that person is not being able to afford such kind of education, what about the rest of
everybody
the
else? Yeah, of course. I mean, it's I think there is a very beautiful quote by Nelson Mandela that I think many people will know, which is education is the most powerful weapon to change the world.
Yes.
But I think to that quote, I'd like to add that education is also the most powerful weapon to control the world, right? Because the moment you have schools that are super expensive and that are shaping the future leaders, and that only a fraction of the world's population can access, and everybody else is just taking their chances at education, then is education a weapon for change, or is education a weapon for control?
That's why I love this show. Oh, the minds, man. So is education, just repeat that again.
Well, I think I'm wondering if like schools are they actually meant to empower people and liberate people, or are they meant to create more, for example, laborers, more workers that can be exploited and controlled?
Wow.
and I think that's
just wow.
I don't know. I mean, I don't have the answer, but
the thing is, and we've been discussing this a lot of people. When we were young, we've been told, go to school, get a good education, and there were even songs we were singing. I can't remember that song. Fanya kazi kwa bidii or something. Soma kwa bidii. Okay, I can't remember the song, but it was saying, go to school, get good education, so you can get a good job. It's never about so you can be a great leader, or so you can create more jobs, or so you can. It's just get a good job. So when you go to school, and I remember a couple of guys talking about it. People worked so hard, and even now in Kenya, young kids are working so hard to get it right, and get the good A's, get the good B's, so that they can get the right jobs. And again, when we come back, you will find people who have A's, people who have masters with no jobs in Kenya.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's I think it's happening. You can see this phenomenon happening throughout the world.
Yeah.
I think you can see that a lot. Definitely in Italy, but it's quite common, and I think education is a transformative agent in a person's life, and that, I mean, in no way I would discourage a child from getting an education. Of course, I mean, education will change your life completely. What I'm trying to say, or let's say what I'm asking, just an open and the question is, are we sure that the education system is designed for social change, when like the 99% of the population can access average
Quality.
at best education.
Yes.
And yeah, sure, they'll change their lives, and hopefully they'll change their family's life and their community's life, and that's great. That's not nothing.
Yeah.
But then society as a whole, and the way society is built and controlled, and the elite that is, of course, perpetuating whatever hierarchy there is.
Mm-hmm.
Are we sure that the education system is designed to subvert that order? Or is the education system designed to make sure that the 1% stays right where it is and where it's supposed to stay, and everybody else is working for them?
Wow. Something to ponder about.
Maybe.
As we go on a short break, remember the hashtag is Money Mondays on Icon Radio. This is your number one entertainment plug. Let's go back to music when we come back. Let's ponder about that and talk more only on Icon Radio.
Fungulia TV uone vijana wako wakifanya mambo ndani ya mitambo mama. Sauti tamu kwenye radio, nimefika hapa juu ya maombi yako. Hata kama sijafika niendako, I know I'm on my way. Napenda ukitabasama, I hope I make you even prouder. Na uzidishiwe afya uone nikivuka boda. As I get older, lean on my shoulder. Umenifunza mengi, I remember when you told me don't you let nobody ever change who you are. Keep running hata nikianguka. Straight out of heaven malaika. Upendo wako haujawahi badilika. You say take your time while you always in a hurry. Be a star, let it shine, tell your story. You're a 10 over 10, you should know that. Hawanioni vile unavyoniona mama. I'm gonna conquer the world with my guitar.
Si fair already, tukikompare kwenda uni au kwa millionaire na dread, utajiambia hii moja ikui. Passion haitaipesi, uache ball utaikwa Messi, hata ujitolea iwezi. So niambie ni kasi madream, world ingeonaje mapenzi, na unapimaje wazimu, kujua dream yangu ni crazy. Just needed someone to believe in me. I'm living to be more than just another boring eulogy. Na siwezi toka bila kuacha jina. You'll remember me, my name will live forever. May our memories together be as nice as sunny weather days. Like your energy, I'm grateful and I'm proud of me. Siamini nacha legacy mama. Ile meli nenda ni kama ndivyo ilifaa kwenda na kasi, hivyo basi meli ingezama. Ile meli nenda ni kama ndivyo ilifaa kwenda na kasi, hivyo basi meli ingezama.
I'm gonna conquer the world with my guitar.
Track Nicolo. Pole ukinicall ilikuwa booth nikipiga mistari. Tukiingia session lazima phone kuwe silent, tutia jutu za producer. Industry nipeleka fiti. Pesa sio mingi lakini mafans wana like muziki. Inquiries ziko mingi sana, promoter studio bei wafiki. DJs na presenters pia nimewatumia emails na therapies. Maybe frequency yangu ndio mbaya, stations azishike fiti. Juzi kwanza tulipatana na Nyashinski akasema na like vibe yetu naweza mind kwa track moja na sisi. Alinipatia number but sina credit, nitumie credit ya 50 nimpigie. Maybe ni ile breakthrough tumekuwa tukitarajia. Sio hivyo mama. Ile deni yako bado sijasahau. Mfuko yangu chakaa fiti cyber tiko kikufani na ka promising wakicheza kama hao. Na mimi nitacheza kama mimi. One day nitakupeleka out Malindi usikie vile beach breeze kwa Govoni. Fine dining 5 star na wazungu na wahindi anyway. Gotea kila mtu mtaani 1960. Waambie kijana wao kwa fiti na wasijali one day itajipa tu. Na ikijipa wewe ni tayari kuishi kama royalty. Yeah.
Najua siku moja nitakuwa star. Na bado I will be your star.
Malenga wa kubadiliza unia, kama una masikio sikia, usije basi ukapuliza gunia, na wenye roho nyepesi watasengenya, hawatatuombea. Nami nishakupenda wewe, kwa wazazi nikupeleke. Mimi nishakupenda
If it's still going on with the Valentine's mood right here on Icon Radio, your number one entertainment plug. Hang out with me, Kang'Ethe Njoroge. Thank you so much for tuning in. I can see you and all the messages coming in, of course. Talking about the educational system and how angry you are about it. But Nicolo is here from Still I Rise, finding out why and how he decided to enter into the non-profit organization, launching a product especially for refugees and vulnerable children. Now, you entered the Kenyan market. You brought the IB It's called IB. What? Sorry.
It is IB is the
It's
IB framework.
IB framework.
Right.
That's the name I was
Yeah,
using.
yeah.
I was looking for. What is this IB framework? How does it look like? Away from our local 844 and now CBC competency based curriculum.
Right. So IB stands for International Baccalaureate, right? And it's the most recognized diploma in the world. It is well, it's subjective, but a lot of experts consider it the best education that money can buy.
Yes.
Of course, I am biased, but I do agree because I think the main difference between IB and traditional education is that
Yes.
while traditional education is content based,
Yeah.
right? You learn
Cramming
figures.
based.
Yeah,
I
you
think
do.
it's cramming.
It is kind of like you have to repeat a lot, right? There's a lot of
Yes.
repetition. You just have to
Yes.
memorize a lot of things. Like history, a lot of dates, and then you got mathematics, a lot of
Yeah.
formulas and stuff like that.
Yes.
The IB education is concept based, right? So instead of having information that the student has to learn, you have ideas, right? Rather than having like, for example, let's say Kenyan independence as part of the curriculum. You go and you learn about Kenyan independence by learning the importance of freedom and the importance of independence movements and the importance of freedom fighters, and that allows you to learn transversally, right? Diagonally, as a student, you can branch out of whatever curriculum you would learn in traditional education and potentially learn anything in the world, because the objective is not to learn that specific fact.
Yes.
Is to understand the concept behind that fact, right?
Okay.
That it is quite different, right? And right, and as I was saying, 2018, I went to this just crazy
Amazing school.
yeah, right,
In Milan.
in Milan. And when I walked out of the school, my thought was, how is it possible that these kids here can get this kind of education and everybody else cannot? And I was like, I want our kids to get the same.
Yes.
Right. So that was some time ago, and it took us some years to get everything in order, the papers and everything. But then finally, we did get to a point where we are approved to offer the IB framework here in Kenya.
Yes.
And the journey is that at some point we will be able to offer the diploma as well, so the whole journey, and that's what we are working towards. And right now, this is our third year in operation, and well, it's just of course, again, I'm biased, it's just a very nice place. We have an international school called Still Arise International School, Nairobi.
Yes.
And our kids are 50% vulnerable Kenyan children.
Yes.
From very impoverished backgrounds. And the other 50% are refugees.
Yes.
So we represent 8 different nationalities from all over East Africa. And we offer the best education that we can possibly provide, completely free of charge. And that means everything is free. Of course, no school fees, but also uniforms are free, meals are free, and we offer breakfast and lunch, and Monday to Saturday. Transport is free, and our kids come from all over the city, all over. And school materials, books, you name it, everything's free.
The student just needs to avail themselves.
Right. Yeah, and of course, and apply themselves. Right. They need to.
Beautiful.
They need to study. They need to show
beautiful.
passion.
Yeah. Like I was there when I visited to find out more about the school, and I was so shocked by how the young kids were able to effectively express themselves without fear. They were speaking very good English without fear. They're able to express themselves, and that is one thing. And I remember asking someone, "What do you want to do when you grow up?" They had 3 jobs.
Right. Was it?
Whoa! When I was this young, I didn't know what I wanted to be, And
Yeah.
most of those kids actually knew. Everybody I asked, they literally know what they wanted to be. And now I know this is very expensive. If the education you're bringing is the one like the International School of Kenya, it must be very costly.
Well, I would say not as costly as theirs. not that much.
Yes.
But I would say probably more than the average. So we estimate that a child at Still I Rise would cost around $2,500 per year. So let's say 300K when it comes to shillings.
Yeah.
That just to cover costs, right? So we are fully a non-profit, so we don't make profit from this. Obviously, because we're the one paying. But if we were a for-profit school, then we would we calculated that every child would have to pay about $3,000 per year in school fees, so that we would cover the cost and also make a profit. So, but let's say like 2.5K dollars to cover the cost, and that means everything like utilities, salaries for the teachers, the management, transport, field trips, you name it, everything. That includes everything.
How many kids do you have in Kenya?
Right now we got 138, I think, something like that, and we are adding another 40 this year. And the selection process is ongoing. We do a selection process that is year round, right, to make sure that we offer this opportunity to kids that can make the best of it. They're vulnerable and that can make the best of it. And ideally, the full capacity of this school will be 300, and we're gonna add more kids starting in year one every year. Until we reach capacity.
Very interesting. And so you have over 100 kids,
right?
And it's very intense that that they have to pay all that they don't have to pay, but you have to cover the costs. How do you get the funding?
Thank you for the question. As you know, this is a question that I care about very much. So one of the main, the founding pillars of Still I Rise is independence, right? And when I say independence, I mean mostly economic independence. Back in 2018, when we started, since we opened Still I Rise for the very reason that we didn't agree with some of the nonprofit world worked. There were these very big organizations, these very big entities with loads of money, doing a very poor job in taking care of people coming in and asking for protection. We decided that whatever we were going to do, we would do it without accepting money from them, right? And to this day, we're very proud to say that we still actively reject money from governments, from big organizations such as the European Union, the United Nations, and all those multinational companies that, let's say, don't pass our code of ethics check, right? So basically that are in any way unethical or that we don't agree with. Which of course makes fundraising much tougher, because that leaves you with basically individuals and those companies that you feel are decent and ethical, and foundations and some grants. So fundraising becomes definitely a more complex job.
Because now you getting it from the people who we expect to be giving. But
to be honest with you, I wouldn't do it any other way, to be honest with you. Like the feeling of waking up in the morning and doing something that is valuable, and that it's not some guy or some organization that you've never seen that is giving you money and telling you what to do. Like you're free, right? I think to be financially free and independent is priceless. So yes, I think it's worth making an extra effort to raise money from just normal people. As opposed to just be in someone's pocket, because that's I think like a lot of people maybe don't really think about this, but the nonprofit world, like every other sector, is full of light and shadows, right? And is not just because our sector was built and designed to help people.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that
People are
everybody
helped.
actually does it. Yeah. There's a lot of money in the sector, right?
Yeah.
And everywhere you have money, you have greed and politics and power, and I don't mean to say that Still Arise is the only ethical organization. Of course, there are a lot of organizations that are doing good, but there are also organizations that are, a bit opaque and like maybe just dealing with politics a bit too much. So yes, that's how we do our fundraising. We try and we are financially free.
Awesome. They're financially free.
Yeah.
Let's go to the kids and the selection process.
Yeah.
You said they come from vulnerable and refugees. How do you select the kind of kid that should be in school?
So we have a network of partners,
Yes.
both local and international, that have been working in Nairobi for much longer than us.
Yes.
And these partners range from Doctors Without Borders (MSF) to like the most local organizations that are literally neighboring us. And we have built a relationship of trust with them over the years, and that allows us every year to receive referrals from them, right? So they, of course, work with families and people that are vulnerable, and they know the neighborhood and they know the communities much better than we could possibly do.
Yes.
And so they send us referrals, and we start our selection process, which is a very sophisticated process. Yeah. Yeah, that aims to be as transparent as possible and as fair as possible, and offer the opportunity to people that are vulnerable and will make the best of it. And that means we receive the referral from our partners, and then we call in the child and the guardians, the guardian, and we hold interviews both with the guardian and with the child. So we have our child psychologist interviewing the child, and our management interviewing the parents, our liaison officer being involved, and then we do household visits, right? We do a surprise visit at home to make sure that we corroborate the story.
Yes.
And then we do a period of observation, right? First, we do a 1 month observation on campus where the children are observed by our teachers and educators, and we make sure that that it's not so much like the child is the right fit for us. It's more like, are we the right fit for this child? Is
Yes.
our service going to serve this child best? Because of course, like, we're offering a very specific opportunity, and I think some children might need something else, right? So we check if, and it's, our selection is never based on knowledge, right? We have children that come to us and don't know how to read and write, for example. So it's not like, how knowledgeable you are or how
Yes.
smart, not in the traditional sense.
Well, yeah, I remember me changing schools. That used to be, can you write? Can you read? Can you speak in English?
Yeah,
Like when we
no.
were changing different schools, it's crazy, and they wouldn't want anyone who is less of their IQ here.
Yeah, no,
It's
we don't do that. We don't do that here. No. No, we focus more on like soft skills and interpersonal skills, like
Yes.
how much of a leader can you be to your peers? How curious you are? How much can you show interest in something that you've never seen before?
Yes.
Kindness. How can you?
Kindness.
How caring can you be to your peers? Right. Everything that makes a child someone who has the potential to become an IB learner. And the IB learner profile is very specific, so we have to comply with the IB standards in terms of again, risk taking and caring, and there are the values that IB requests. But also we want to make sure that the long term objective of a school like this is that We want children who are very vulnerable to become tomorrow's leaders, right? We want to offer them the most powerful education in the world so that they can access the best universities around the world and then become, the next president, for example, right? And we hope that, this future leading class will be a bit more humane and honest and transparent than the current one,
Yes.
right? I'm not talking about Kenya, I'm talking about the world. I think we do need a bit of a makeover when it comes to our leaders around the world. And I wish these kids can be that. They can be better leaders and make better mistakes than the ones that are made today. And I think kindness and care are some of it. We teach them to be brave, right? To speak up and to just not turn a blind eye to things that might not affect them directly, but are affecting people next to them, right? We try to raise a community of young leaders that are not only ambitious and intelligent and but also caring and kind. So that's what we try to do. So the selection process, the observation part takes 1 month and then another 11 months. And finally, we try to make sure that we are the best fit for all the children that we enroll in the program.
Yes.
Of course, if we had enough funds and enough space to enroll all the children, we would. Right? It is hard to choose. It is hard to choose, and you wish you could. It is.
Yeah. So your school is in Mathare,
Right.
and there are many other venerable places in Kenya. We have Kibera, the largest slum in Africa.
Right.
Why did you choose Mathare?
It's a very good question. I think yes. So yeah, Kibera is it is the largest slum in the continent. However, I think probably because it is it has like it is known, right, for being so highly populated. It's also a place where a lot of organizations have right, they're operating. So of course this doesn't make it a nice place. Of course it's hardship and struggle.
Yeah, it's still hard.
But there is there are services being offered there.
Yes.
So we did consider Kibera when we considered the whole country, to be honest with you. We considered everything.
Yes.
But finally we settled on Mathare because we felt like Mathare is so underserved. There is barely anyone, right? A few organizations and struggling themselves, to be honest. And Mathare is actually, it is more densely populated than Kibera, right?
Yes.
There are more people in Kibera and fewer people in Mathare, but Mathare has more people per square kilometer, right? So very overcrowded. Yeah, very overcrowded. And that's the thing. Like whenever you hear about Mathare in the news, it's always
chaos.
Yeah, it's always crime and it's unfair because there is more than that. That there is art. I was just yesterday I was at this studio of dancers, Young TAT.
Yes,
they're awesome, by the way. If you're listening, check them out on social media.
You're called?
And Young TAT.
Young TAT.
Young TAT. They're brilliant. They're also teaching at our school. They're a crew of young dancers. And Moses, their founder, is basically empowering children from the streets to dance, and they're brilliant. And you have that. You have art, and you have a lot of business, and that doesn't really shine through when people talk about the neighborhood. So we decided to go there not only to offer an opportunity to the children that we are serving, but also to bring some little hope and light to the area itself, right? And and I think we're happy to say that we are we've been welcomed by the community in a very positive way, and they do we feel very much at home, which is, I know it's a big statement. I understand that, but I think it is a place where we we found a lot of good people and a lot of people that see value in our work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's go back to the music. When we come back, more from Nicolo. And of course, if you have any questions, check us out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Icon Radio KE, and ask the question and let us answer. If you'd like also to donate, we'll be giving you opportunities for where you can do that in a few. But for now, back to the music.
Kwangu kujua na kukua ni lengo la kila kukishatua, hivyo hata ukinizungusha sioni shida, utanifundisha. Wakaribu wanatambua, saa zingine maneno unisumbua, uyanikata, uyanihada, lakini we ona ninapaa ndege, ushanifanya ukipandisha bei, unajua nitafika na nitapita, yeah. Lakini we ona ninapaa ndege, ushanifanya ukipandisha bei, unajua nitafika. Hata kesho kutwa tutapenda, na usiku kucha tutapenda, hata kesho kutwa tutapenda, na usiku kucha tutapenda. Oh yes, 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 yes. Wewe unanijua, gizani umenitoa, sikudhani ningetoboa. Ni mara ngapi nilikwama, ni mara ngapi umechagua niwe nawe, na siwezi ngoja kwenda kwenye goti nikuvishe pete dunia inoti. Vile ninapaa ndege ushanifanya ukipandisha bei, unajua nitafika na nitapita, yeah. Lakini we ona ninapaa ndege ushanifanya ukipandisha bei, unajua nitafika, yeah, yeah. Hata kesho kutwa tutapenda, na usiku kucha tutapenda, hata kesho kutwa tutapenda, na usiku kucha tutapenda. You inspire me, you are. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. We've given love a chance. Sometimes we fall in love is always enough. Sometimes we fall in love is always enough. Hata kesho kutwa na usiku, na usiku, kesho, 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 na usiku tutapenda.
Dimension, you got me in another dimension. Another dimension, you got me in another dimension.
Break it down, man, bring it up slow. You a bad chicken, do you already know? Back to pull up on a nigga nikuonyeshe maisha, yeah. Nitahakikisha usitofuliza. Anywhere you wanna be, baby, I'm ready to go. Sema tuanzie Paris ama twende Tokyo. When you control me, control me. Oh, when you control, na na na. When you control me. Worldwide, Miss International. Dimension. You got me in another dimension. Why lie? Another dimension. You got me in another dimension. Why lie? Dimension. You got me in another dimension. Why lie? Another dimension. You got me in another dimension. Why lie? Dimension. You got me in another dimension. Why lie? Another dimension. You got me in another dimension. Why lie? Control me. Oh, when you control, na na na. When you control me. Worldwide, Miss International. Worldwide, Miss International. Worldwide, Miss International. You got me in another. Oh, I lie. Another dimension. You got me in another dimension.
Oh, it is Dimension, the song by Fully Focus, and one of the guys outside, so I cannot remember his name. I know you guys are gonna kill me, but it's playing right here on Icon Radio, your number one entertainment flag. Hoping you're having a great time. My name is Kang'Ethe Njoroge, and this is Money Mondays. Hoping that you are trying to listen to this great stories from Still I Rise, the non-profit organization founded by Nicolo. I can't mention the other name, man. I'll just please.
It's okay. That's fine.
Yeah, Mr. Nicolo is here with us, talking about the school and how he's trying to empower young kids to be the better future leaders of tomorrow. And it's a very noble cause. I'm seeing a lot of messages about how people can partner. But before that, I want to say some of the people who have gone through the IB program or IB curriculum in Kenya is someone like Jeff Koinange, one of the best journalists we have in the country, and Lupita Nyong'o, of course, our star, our little star in the entire world, who's featured in amazing films in the world, especially Wakanda. And does that? And I want to ask about the IB system. When you look at these two, they're two different people, but one has really ventured into the acting thing. Is it something that is taught in the IB program?
The IB framework is just so different and intuitive, because it really gives you an opportunity to become your true self. Yes. I would say, right? Mm-hmm. Since there is no content there, but only concepts, every school can implement the IB framework in a way that is unique, right? Mm-hmm. So, for example, I think we try our best to be a bit different from the majority of the IB schools out there. Yes. IB schools tend to be a little bit Euro-American centric, yes, right? While we are building every day a Pan-African curriculum, or let's say a Pan-African focus to the learning in our school, right? From the culture that we infuse our spaces with, from literally the furniture to the content of our classes to the angle of what we teach, right? So, for example, our school does value the arts quite a lot. Yeah. Which again, I it's a bit unusual.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But our kids are very much into acting, yes, and painting and design.
Actually, the two students I talked to, one wanted to be an artist. The other one wanted to be a dancer.
Yeah.
A dancer, an actor, and
an engineer.
An engineer. Yeah, there was
yes. It was a very interesting mix. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very interesting.
Yeah, but yes, and for example, when the children are in drama class, so they're learning how to act, we do focus a lot on African plays, right? Plays written by African playwrights,
Yes.
as opposed to the usual Western plays that you are they're bounced around in international schools, and that is what makes IB even more special, that you can shape the IB school that you have, following whatever culture you have around you, but also whatever you think is best. And when I say you, I do not mean myself. What was that? My goodness. What was,
Oh, sorry.
that was my back. I have no idea that was my back. I'm turning 30 next month, so I think that here you go. All right. I guess I gotta get used to that now. Going back.
I'm not supposed to be laughing.
Literally, it was like
You should have seen your face.
I don't know what that was. I'm not used to that. All right.
All right, let's go back.
Let's go back to IB. I mean,
Yeah.
okay. No, it's when I talk about like us, I mean truly like the whole management of the school, right?
Yeah.
We do believe not only in empowering the children to become the future leaders, but
Yeah.
we do believe in empowering our local leaders, right? So our staff here to lead the change,
Yeah.
right? I think at Still I Rise, we are very much about making sure that we, as an international organization, as an organization that is that was built outside of the country, we create a system and we offer tools, but then we empower our local leaders to effect the actual change on the ground, right?
Yes.
We believe that nobody better than our management in the school, people that have been, of course, born and raised in the country, can solve the problems of a community or a society.
Yes.
And so, yeah, what we do at Still I Rise is we offer support and we offer a framework so that our leaders here can create change.
Yes. So because change is very important, and I think the most important thing for kids is to learn how they're able to, deal with change every single day.
Right.
What is one thing that you've seen in the Kenyan kids that you've been with for the last 3 years that really shocked you or made you happy or, gave you some kind of fulfillment? What kind of change did you see with the kids?
Oh, it's a very good question. The list goes on and on. We will be talking until 2 a.m.
Let's
about
come
this,
home,
but I
yeah.
think I need to choose some. I think like the majority of our kids, probably 98% of our kids, when they came in 2020, were all very self-doubting, maybe, right? They were all very shy, all very scared, all very afraid to speak up and stand out, which I think might be a result to traditional education, right? That is a system that forces you to be the same as everyone else, forces you to shush your uniqueness, to set your personality aside, right?
Yes.
And so they all came in and they were just like very frightened, and they were very very shut in, right? And you met them, right? And you saw it with your own eyes. Now they're like some of the most confident children you've ever met, right? They're just so much themselves, right? Each one of them is so comfortable with who they are and the space around them that they can shine. And they're not old kids, right? They're pretty young kids, but still they are able to just express themselves in a way that is just oozing confidence, and they look like they are ready to take to take on the world,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah, I think that's
Yes.
the biggest change.
They're ready to take on the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you ready to take the world? Do you have more questions? Let's go back to the music. When we come back, more talk.
I sing this song because of you, because of the love you made me know is true. I sing this song because of you, because I hope that you love me too. Your smile got the best of me, so I'm singing you this melody. And even if this life ends now, I know that I am happy with you. I'm happy with you. I know that I am happy with you. Your smile, your voice, I know that I am happy with you. I sing this song because of you, because when you leave I don't see no one else. I may be left, I may be up to say that I don't feel this love. No, I don't got proof, but just listen to my heart say. Your smile got the best of me, so I'm singing you this melody. And even if this life ends now, I know that I am happy with you. I'm happy with you. I know that I am happy with you. Your smile, your voice, I know that I am happy with you. I'm happy with you. Your smile got the best of me, so I'm sure that this is meant to be. And even if this life ends now, I know that I am happy with you.
All right, Nikita carrying the song It's Happy With You. Narration Icon Radio #1 entertainment flag hang out with me, Kang'Ethe Njoroge. On Mondays, of course, and I am so excited that you're here with me. Already we're about to be to the end of the show, and I am literally shocked the time has flown this much, you know. And I've seen a couple of questions, but a lot of questions have been about how can someone participate in offering something for the kids, and how can someone participate? How can we help? How can we help more kids out there?
Very good question, and thank you for asking, everybody. I guess I cannot see it, but I will read the comments later.
Yeah.
I will give two answers. I think the first one, more common and expected, and the second one I think a bit more surprising. So the first one is obviously donations.
Yes.
I know it's always weird to ask for donations, but again, we are a nonprofit and we are an independent nonprofit, so we do survive literally on like whatever a person can spare. We have some people that donate a very small amount, whatever they can spare in their week.
Yes.
And of course, we have people that donate a larger amount because they can afford it. But any kind of donation, I think we're quite good at really milking our donations, right? We do not waste our money, right?
Yes.
We know that people that donate to us are sacrificing their finances in a small way or a big way. So we try to honor that effort by using their money in the best possible way for the program and for the kids. The other answer that I think is a little less common is time and expertise.
Yeah.
We are an international school, and we're trying to offer our students the best we can.
Mm-hmm.
But we are also an international school in Madare, and our kids are not your average international school kids.
Yes.
Right. Your average international school kid goes to Dubai for holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah. They go to New York for shopping, and our kids don't get to do that, sadly. So since our kids cannot go yet into the world for exposure, we need to bring the world to them.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have something of value professionally that you can share with our children, come in for a workshop, for a seminar. Let's say like you're a lawyer, you're a doctor, you're an engineer, you're an artist, you're a dancer, you are an actor, you are a marketing professional, you're a journalist, you are a business owner. You come in and tell our kids what it is like to be in your world.
Yes.
What it is like to become someone like you, right? Because our kids, they do come to our campus, and it is beautiful, and we try to do the best we can. But then they walk out of the gate every day, right? It's not a boarding school. They walk out of that gate every day, and they go back to wherever they're coming from, which is good definitely good in part because they are very much in touch with their culture, right? We're not uprooting them and taking them away from their surroundings and family, so that's good. But at the same time, they are going to go exposure, the same way that other international school students do, but they also have challenges that privileged kids can never imagine, right? But still, even though, in spite of everything, right, that goes on in their lives, they are able to shine. And our kids have been winning prizes left, right, and center. Just 2 months ago, 2 of our children won bronze category in the Commonwealth, the Queen's Commonwealth essay writing competition. Yeah. They were bronze, which is awesome. I think they're brilliant people.
In 3 years of transformation.
2 actually.
Really
And it's them. Like
beautiful.
I cannot take credit for it because we're just creating an environment where they can themselves excel. Right? It's all them. I cannot say, it's because of us. We're just creating a space for us to thrive.
Yes.
It's all them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. And thank you so much for sharing your story. It's very empowering to see someone who is very selfless. You left everything else. I mean, you could be out here making dollar billions like everyone else, but you chose to serve, and service is selfless. It's very selfless. And from the bottom of my heart, we really appreciate what you're doing in Kenya. We are very grateful that you're doing that to the kids, and we hope that you get more and more funding going forward. Yeah, but what motivates you to hang on? What motivates you to do what you do?
That's a good question. I think what you said, I think it is the answer, right? It is true. Like I could definitely be making more money easily somewhere else, but would I be as happy? I wouldn't be. Like I think I hope I speak on behalf of everybody within the Stila Rice family. We wake up in the morning and we're like, we might be tired because we do work a lot, right? It is a very intense mission. It is a very demanding call. You wake up in the morning, and no matter how tired you are, and you're like, you're like basically F yes, right? Because I get to go to a place where everything feels very real, right? And you, a lot of the worries that you have in your outside life,
Yeah.
you leave them at the gate, because you walk in and it's a very happy place. It's a place of hope, and it's a place of it's a place where the impossible can happen, right? You have these children, and they are amazing, and the colleagues, you just feel like you are with your best friends all the time, and I think
Yes.
that's quite rare. Like,
Yeah.
I did work in other places, and you would work in the workplace, and the last thing that you wanted to do was speak to your colleagues. Because like, no,
No.
stay away from me. It's too early on Monday, right?
I haven't had my coffee yet.
Exactly. That's right. Don't talk to me. 'Cause, yeah. But here, you like, it's just you walk in, and you have colleagues that you almost feel like it's really family, and and I think of course, once your basic needs are covered, in terms of like finances, everything else you can make up with purpose and a sense of belonging, and just feeling like you're together with others in doing something that is bigger than yourself, more than yourself. I think it's priceless.
It's priceless.
Yeah.
You have 3 schools. One in Syria, one in
In Congo,
Congo,
and one in Kenya.
the one in Kenya. What is next for you? Which other place are you looking at?
So
Yeah.
that's a good question. We've been working on Colombia in South America for now 1 year and a half.
Yeah.
We do prepare a lot before we go into a new country, so that we just make sure that we're not risking too much, and that we're not jeopardizing the operation. So we've been preparing for that for 1 year and a half now, and yeah, we are going to start operating there, in terms of like not opening the school, but like just starting
Yeah.
to build the project in April this year. So it's coming up finally.
Yes.
And then well, we are also planning as a longer term dream to open an international school in Italy too, which might sound unusual, but as we said, Italian school system is very lacking and very
Yes.
poor, and we
Yeah.
would love to bring the same kind of quality and purpose and love that we have in all our schools
Yes.
back to where we started, back where myself as a kid
Yes.
felt just very much alienated and pushed away from the system. So
Yes.
that's where we'd like to go. But of course, like in an ideal world
Yeah.
where we have unlimited funds, then we would definitely love to expand our current operations. Like, why not open more schools in Kenya, and
Yeah.
more schools in Congo, and more schools in Syria, and more schools in Colombia, right? I mean, I think our dream for the future would be not only, of course, to offer this very unique opportunity of going to an international school for free everywhere children might need an education. But I think our ultimate goal would be to work with ministries of education around the world, so that we can start contaminating the model, right? We can start making sure that whatever policies and
Yeah.
practices
Yeah.
we created at Still I Rise, we can carry over, and we can inspire the public system, the traditional school, so that like one day, the future Kang'Ethe and the future Nicolo will not have to struggle through like traditional education.
Yes.
They will be maybe in public school, but still have a very different kind of schooling. Like a school that will not make them feel like they are not good enough and they're
Yeah.
stupid, but they are valuable, and that their contribution to the world is going to make a difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
One question from Michael is asking, for an organization, what do they need to do to provide? Because I think they got confused whether it's just organizations or individuals. So can also organizations support, and what is the criteria for for an organization to come and support?
That's a good question. I think we need to define the meaning of support. Like, we're talking about financial support? Are we
Yes.
talking financial support?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I think then we just get in touch via email, right? So we touch base, and so I mean, let's make it practical. Like, if there's an organization out there listening to us
Yes,
right now, they
yes.
can shoot us an email through our website, which is stillarisengo.org.
Yes.
They can find us there, and then we get in touch, and then we just understand if there is ground for a collaboration.
Okay.
As you know, we do not accept money from everybody, but
That's I think that's what they're asking. Is there like a process? Is there like a criteria in which what you look at when receiving donations from an organization?
absolutely. So we have a vetting process that is based on our code of ethics, and everything can be found there. But most of it, I would say, we are happy to collaborate with most of the organizations around the world, right?
Okay.
It's just like, the big, powerful ones that have been calling the shots
Yeah.
for decades that we stay away from.
Yes.
Which doesn't mean that we are like, actively opposing, right?
Yeah.
We might collaborate in terms of like information sharing and making sure that we are aligned, but we draw the line at money, right?
Yes.
We let's collaborate in terms of like, we coordinate with each other, and we wave if we see each other in the street, but we're not accepting your money,
Such
basically.
a polite no.
It's not you, it's me.
So as we end the show, I've heard that you've written 6 amazing books and writing a bestseller.
6 books. I'm not sure about amazing, but let's say 6.
Tell us more about the books.
Well, they are a variety. I do like writing sometimes,
Yeah.
and I think it kind of fits with everything else that we do, right? Education, schools, books, writing, and
Yeah.
I think that's there. And
Mhm.
Still Arise actually got its first funding through these books,
Mhm.
because before starting the organization, when I was still like just a freshly graduated 24-year-old, I wrote my first book that was published by a major publisher in Italy, and whatever royalties, the money that book was making, is what I used to start Still I Rise, right? So that
Oh.
first book is how we started everything, right? Because we didn't have any other money.
Yeah.
and so we've used books to I wouldn't say support our operations that much, because you don't make a lot of money from publishing books.
Yes.
That's not a very profitable business,
Yeah.
unless you're like, of course, Stephen King.
Yeah.
But we do use book and literature to spread awareness, and just make sure that that whatever we do doesn't only serve the purpose of supporting the children and their
Yes.
families, which is, of course, is very important, but we also want to educate the wider public. Well, my books are sadly only in Italian, because that's my first language. So I wish my publisher cared about me enough to translate them.
Yeah.
They don't. But yeah, so the reason why I write these books is so that we can raise awareness on Still I Rise, and also on the humanitarian causes that we deal with, and so that we bring back to Italy and Europe that like whatever people over there might feel like it's very far away from them is actually not, and
Yeah.
that the world is much more connected than most people think it is, in terms of like economics and
Yeah.
everything. Most of the things we do, the things that we buy, the choices that we make, have an echo that is global, worldwide, right? So that we're very much connected, and
Yeah.
we want to make sure that people understand that kids somewhere in a different country, right? Be it Syria or DRC or Kenya, are not just some kids that don't matter to you as a European.
Yes.
We all matter because we're all one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for coming. That was such an insightful interview. And I wish you the best. We at Icon Radios definitely support you. And we wish you the very best. We should have the kids over sometime.
Let's do it.
Yeah?
They'd love it. Yeah, for real.
Definitely.
They'd love it.
I'll hook you up.
Thank you, Kang'Ethe. It's been
so they see
a
the
pleasure.
studio and understand what's going on, especially for those people who want to be presenters like I am.
Thanks, man. It's been a pleasure and an opportunity. Thank you for giving us this platform.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. You're welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in as well. You at home, thank you for hanging out with us. But remember to catch us next week, same place, same time. Remember also to catch Myra tomorrow at the Jam Breakfast only on Icon Radio, your number one entertainment flag. From us to you is peace, and see you on Monday.
So right, don't know anyone who makes me catch a vibe for the frequency, catch a vibe on you and me, feel alright, baby. We could see if we could be right. See, there's something about the way you smile. Hold your breath and baby, we could catch a vibe for the frequency, catch a vibe on you.
show up nikiomba. I've been on a tough road for so long, tatani ni rover. My mind game got to be so strong, I fight like a soldier. Long days, long night, a man still see a champ in the mirror. Always gonna be alright, cause mama gave a battle a winner. Life faking it a lemon, it has squeeze, make some lemonade. Now his streets with a my demon, I'ma pull up with some grenade. Sicko, sicko fit, sicko, sicko, sicko fit, sicko, sicko fit, sicko, sicko, sicko fit, sicko, sicko fit, sicko, sicko, sicko fit, sicko, sicko fit, sicko, sicko, sicko fit. Sicko fit, sicko, sicko, sicko fit, sicko, sicko fit, sicko, sicko, sicko fit, sicko, sicko fit, sicko, sicko, sicko fit, sicko, sicko fit, sicko, sicko, sicko fit. I've been on a tough road for so long that I need a rover. My mind game got to be so strong, I fight like a soldier. Long days, long nights, a man still see the champ in the mirror. Always gonna be alright, cause mama gave a back to a winner. Life faking it, lemon, it I squeeze, make some lemonade. Now his streets me jump my demons, I'ma pull up with some grenades.